everyone, so really quick, I just want to go ahead and show you what I'm doing. I really should have started this from like the beginning and showing you step by step, but I'm making some bone broth. So in here I have chicken. I also have chicken in this one. I originally was only going to do one, then I found a bag of chicken bones in the freezer and I decided to do two. This is some bone marrow that I got from Publix. And I roasted it in the oven with a little bit of coarse kosher salt. And so now I put that in there. And what I'm about to do, if I can get this open with one hand, is pour a gallon. I have well water and I don't like using well water for making stocks and broth. So I have some spring water that I am going to pour. And so each one of my crock pots will hold about a gallon of the water. So I get a whole gallon of spring water into this crock pot and it fills it right up to the top. There is some fat in there, which I am going to skim the fat when it is time to strain off the liquid. I'm going to add to this probably, like in here I have some pieces of the red onion. I have the same thing in that one, and I'm going to chop up some onions for the chicken and dumplings for today, as well as some celery, so that's going to go in here as well. I'm going to add some black peppercorn and some bay leaves, and that is for flavor. But I'm going to just cover this up and put it on low, and this is going to cook or simmer for 48 hours. So Sunday we'll come back, we'll strain it into some jars that I have. I have some really big jars, and let it cool off so I can skim the fat off of those jars, and then we'll can it. And I actually just got a brand new pressure canner, and I may go ahead and show y'all how I use that on Sunday. So this might just be the first part of the video instead of just making it a very short video, and I'll see you back then. So I am back. So I have my beef stock in there, beef bone stock. And so I have the rack at the bottom, the canning rack at the bottom, just like I would in a pressure canner I put on the stove. Now this canner only holds 4 quart-sized jars and I think 5 pint-sized jars. And then if I were to have some 8-ounce jars, I think I can stack them if I'm not mistaken, because it comes with a second rack here that you can stack them. But I'm only going to do 4 quart-sized jars right now, and then I'm going to do 5 pint-sized jars with the rest of it. And this is good. It's actually a good thing for me, because I know that there's sometimes I'll make things that I want to can, and because my big canner holds so many, I have to pull out so much, I don't want to do small batches. But now I have an option for when I can just pull this canner out and I can do small batches without any issues. So I love this investment. So I got them in there. Now I'm going to pour 4 cups of hot water. You want to make sure it's hot. You don't want to put cold water in hot jars, then they are going to shatter. So you want to make sure it is hot. I am going to close it, lock it in place. I'm going to make sure the exhaust is open. I am going to pressure cook for 30 minutes. And then I'm going to walk away. And so it took probably about, I would say 10 to 15 minutes for it to come up to temperature and start this countdown. So now the countdown has started. It's at 30 minutes. I am going to go ahead. I'm supposed to be logged on in like 5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and log on. And then once it beeps and lets me know that it's finished, then I will come back and check on it. All right, so it beeped 3 times. And now it is off. I'm gonna let it come down and then we'll open it up, because it's still, I can tell that it is still kind of coming down from pressure. So, hey, so as I was editing the video of me showing you canning the broth, the bone broth, in my new pressure canner, I realized that the last part of the video did not record, and so it's missing. Instead, I'm going to just let you know that I actually ended up doing 8 quarts of the bone broth, and I've already used half of that since recording that video, which was actually last week. But also, I'm going to just add a quick view of what's going on in the garden now. So here's the bok choy and the kale that I planted about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I can't remember exactly. In this bed, I have some collards and some kale. Also have some red cabbage over to the left and some more bok choy. I get a little bit more sun in this bed than I do in the next bed, but this bed has collards and kale as well. Now, I could have just planted one full bed of collards, one full bed of kale, but because of the difference in sun, I wanted to mix it up a little bit. And this bed was planted a full 2 weeks before the previous bed. So, but they look like they're pretty much in the same stages. Over here, I'm going to swing around to this celery. This is my first time with having success with celery because last year I planted it too late and it didn't do very well. I got a cabbage kind of growing into the celery, but I also have some heads forming in the cabbage plants that's in this bed and some broccoli crowns, which I went ahead and decided to plant a few broccoli plants just to see how well they do at the time that I planted it. But thanks for joining us. Like, share, subscribe, and until next time, be blessed.